we are breaking down the greatest artists of our time and the fatal flaws that did them in under 10 minutes. The fatal lineup. We're going to check out, first up, Vincent van Gogh. You see, Vincent van Gogh was a master of color, emotion, and movement. He's one of the pioneers in many of the art forms that we enjoy today. But in his lifetime, he was trapped with a relentless battle within himself. His fatal flaw was self-destruction. Self-destruction in the sense he destroyed himself, but also those around him. Let's break it down. Mastery. He was a master painter, creating greats like Starry Nights. But self-harm came in a way when he got into an argument with one of his peers and cut his own ear off to prove a point, as we see in this painting here. 900 works was attributed to him, but Van Gogh's lack of commercial success and the fact that he never received credit until after his death aided to his self-destruction. He wanted this internal validation from others. He wanted these validation from others, but he never received it. During his lifetime, his feelings of inadequacy was eating away at him time and time again. But what can we learn from him? The key takeaways we can learn from Van Gogh. His story teaches us that creativity and struggle often go hand in hand. But without self-care, those struggles can consume us. We need to look for validation within, not from those from without. His passions gave us masterpieces, but his self-destruction cut his journey short. The lesson: prioritize your mental health. Genius means nothing if you don't survive to see it come to fruition. Second up, we got Michelangelo, one of the greats of our time. You see, Michelangelo was a master of multiple disciplines, from painting, sculpting, and architecture. Despite his extraordinary talent, he was never satisfied. His fatal flaw was perfectionism. His relentless pursuit of perfection made him one of history's greatest artists, but it also took a significant toll on his mental well-being. You see, his great paintings such as this, he was a pioneer of his time. Many people would copy him in hopes of being a great. Sculpting, we see all across Europe these beautiful architecture and sculpting of these statues that are in front of museums, in front of art shows. Michelangelo was a pioneer in creating these, but many of them went undone, with many of the body parts and heads and various different aspects of the sculptures not being completed because he thought it wasn't good enough. Lastly, his mastery in architecture. If you go throughout Europe, you see great works that he created the floor plan, the blueprint, the design of many of these great works that was commissioned. But he left oftentimes these plans to pursue other things just because certain things didn't work out the way he wanted it to. This breaks down to his fatal flaw. We're going to dissect each fatal flaw that he has and see what can we do to make ourselves better and we won't fall into the same situation that he did. Those three things are dissatisfaction, obsession, and his emotions. No matter how much he accomplished, Michelangelo believed his work was imperfect. He was constantly revised and reworked his art, never fully content. His dissatisfaction while pursued him to create countless better works and masterpieces, but it also drained him emotionally and physically. obsession. He worked himself to the brink of disaster with exhaustion, sometimes going days without rest. He battled self doubt and periods of deep melancholy, and his emotions added to his struggle, not understanding that his emotions and his psyche dictated how his artwork would turn out. This eventually ended what was a great man and destroyed what we thought was one of the best of our time. But there's always a takeaway, the key takeaways of his life that we could learn from. And through his fatal struggles, balance is key. Balance is always key. Creativity and mastery are powerful, but also is embracing imperfection. Embracing imperfection can lead to us making great decisions in our life. Mental health is crucial, and balance is key. Even the greatest artists struggle with self-doubt, but understanding these challenges can help us appreciate both their genius as well as the humanity. Thank you, Michelangelo. We've looked at Michelangelo, we looked at Van Gogh, but now let's turn our attention to no other than Pablo Picasso. Downfall was egotism. His genius was undeniable, but his arrogance created deep personal and professional rifts throughout the ecosystem. From a young age, Picasso displayed extraordinary ability to break down traditional artistic forms. He pioneered Cubism, reshaping how we see the perspective forms of art. His genius allowed us to continually to constantly evolve, never changing, never being conformed to a specific style, calling it geometric mastery. Alright? He, at a young age, you saw that he demonstrated exceptional artistic skills, a period of reflecting on deep emotional and traumatic themes that was explored throughout his existence. With his egotism, Picasso's complex personality, he was fueled by innovative spirit, but also led to his demise. But Picasso's confidence often tipped into arrogance. His relentless self-belief led to a revolutionary art form, but it also fractured his many great relationships. He was known to have a difficult personality, and it alienated his friends and families and even lovers. We're going to break down his fatal flaw a little bit more. It was self-induced, arrogance-induced isolation. I'm going to say it again. Arrogance-induced isolation. Picasso's self-centered nature became both his strength and his curse. His unwavering belief in himself allowed him to break artistic barriers, but also cause deep personal isolation. Many who once admired him eventually distanced themselves. His art alienated those closest to him. So what can we learn from Picasso's fatal flaw? Confidence is essential for success, but unchecked arrogance can push people away. The greatest minds walk a fine line between self-belief and self-awareness. In art and in life, balance is key. Thank you, Pablo Picasso. That's a wrap. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Stay bold, stay motivated. This is Boltivation. See you next time. Peace.